As an international student trying to settle into a new country, the search for a job usually begins with high energy. But the issue is that rejection letter after rejection letter, the morale begins to drop. And at the same time, money is finishing, so you're getting even more frustrated. Let's talk about it. Applying for jobs in a country that you did not grow up, you're not born in, or generally even in the country that you're born in, requires a kind of strategy, whether it's a part-time job or a full-time job. I'm currently in Canada as an international student, and I can say from experience that finding a part-time job is not the easiest thing. And I'm not even talking about full-time jobs, I'm talking about just a part-time job to get by while you're in school. And if you are in this situation now, trying to get a part-time job or trying to find a full-time job, my heart goes out to you, and I really pray that there is favor for you and you eventually find something. But in all of your searching, I know it's the hardest thing to do right now, to try not to be frustrated, but I think the best advice I ever received from anybody when I first came to Canada, or when I started my whole journey or experience here in Canada, the best advice someone gave me was to try my best not to be frustrated by the system. And it's easier said than done. It's easy for me to sit here and tell you, oh, I know you've been applying, I know they've not gotten back to you, or they've gotten back to you and you're just getting a lot of unfortunately, we regret to inform you, and blah blah blah. It's very easy for me to come and tell you, just try your best, don't allow it to frustrate you. But when you see the bills you have to pay, because no matter how much you brought from home, money finishes like this here, because you're paying rent every month, you have phone bill every month, you have internet, you have utilities, you have groceries. That is one part of the budget that just continues to take money, and you're wondering, it's just me, how much am I really eating? But it will surprise you to know that groceries actually require money, a lot of it. And yeah, I know it's not easy, but honestly, as much as you can, as much as it is within your power, try not to get frustrated early, because you don't know how long the journey is, you don't know how long you're going to wait. I know people that have been in Canada for up to a year and they have not gotten a part-time job, and they're students and they're paying bills. I know people that got a job before they got to Canada, they're students, they got a part-time before they got to Canada. I know people that got to Canada and not long after, classmates that started getting jobs. For me myself, it took some months, I think about 3 or 4 months ish, to get a part-time job. And honestly, I don't think any other thing teaches you looking for a job in Canada that is not of him that will it or run it. It's not by how much effort you make, which does not mean you shouldn't make effort, but it's not by your CV, it's not by how great of an experience it is that you had, or how amazing you work, or how excellent you are. All these things are important, and they are very, very essential, because it's one thing to get your leg into the job, you get the job. It's another thing to stay on the job and to progress in the job. But honestly, you see people that it seems like you know more than them, or you have more experience than them, or you're more qualified in some sense than they are, and they get a job before you, and now you're looking at yourself and you're wondering. And there's also the fact that there's networking. So somebody could have a larger network than you, that is supposedly more qualified, and they get a job before you. Because networking, it's like magic, but it's not magic. Or you speak to this person and that person speaks to that person, and next thing they ask you to bring your CV, or they set up a meeting, or you have a coffee chat with this person, and you guys are talking and you're talking and you're talking. And then I've seen people leave coffee chats with jobs, I've seen people leave conferences with jobs. And all of this is not to say don't work hard, don't get that certification, don't go to school, don't get a degree, don't improve yourself. No, not at all. But just to make you see that you may not really be the problem. So you've been applying and you're not getting feedback, or you're not getting positive feedback. It has a way of making you feel like you're unqualified, you are foolish, you don't have sense, you are not relevant to your world. All of that is probably not true. You're very relevant. It's just a matter of time. Honestly, I've been babbling for a while, but all of this is just to say finding a part-time job in Canada is a task, is a job on its own. Like, finding a job is a job on its own. Even people that have jobs here, people are constantly looking for something else. Somebody's constantly looking for another job. So I've been at this job. Somebody might have been at a job for a year and they already feel like, oh my god, I've been here for too long, I need to move. Or I've been here for a couple of months and it seems like I'm just doing the same thing. I need to move. It's not bad, but it's not always the best thing. Like, there's a way that you can take it to an extreme. So in your search for a job, this is what we're discussing today: finding a part-time job in Canada as an international student. Try to emphasize on time management. In your time management, you're applying to jobs, but as you are throwing out, try not to just throw out applications, but to be strategic. So the plan that you're going to have is, what type of job do you want to have? Try to be realistic. For those of us that are in school and we have limited hours to work, you definitely cannot have a full-time job. So the part-time job you're going to get, what kind of opportunities are available around you? Look out for things that are already available so that you don't search for long. It's okay to start with working in retail. As time goes by, you will progress. As time goes by, you would not be a student anymore. You can work another job. It's also okay to get a proper office job that is part-time while you're a student and it pays you well. But in the bid to be realistic, this is because I think many times in the bid to do aspire to aspire or aspire to aspire, all this encouragement, some of us encourage ourselves to the extreme, to the point where, oh please, oh man, I don't want to come and be doing, I don't want to do retail, I don't want to work part-time, or I don't want to earn so amount, or I don't want to earn less than you get a certain threshold of money. Like, set your targets for how much you want to earn, but try your best to be realistic with yourself. You're a student, you actually don't have that much time, or like free time to work on your hands, except when you're on break from school. So be realistic with your goals in terms of the kind of job you're looking for, and then open Indeed, LinkedIn, Glass Jobs. Open these apps and apply for jobs. I want to say apply like crazy, but I would say just apply strategically. I'm so sorry. Apply strategically. So as you're applying, first of all, your CV has to be good. Let someone that knows how a CV in Canada should look like, let them go by your CV, and let it not just be, oh yeah, it's okay. Like, if you can get two people to go by it. In school, if you have a career department or career services department or unit, go to them with your CV, let them look over it, so that you're not just throwing the CV and nobody's replying. It's possible they're not replying because your CV is not great. Like, your picture should not be on your CV, your gender should not be on your CV, your, what did they call that? I've said picture should not be on your CV, your marital status, whether you're married or not, we don't care, it should not be on your CV, please. And there are a couple of other more detailed or specific things that they would be people would look out for on your CV, like recruiters, hiring managers, and you need to ensure your CV is in place before you start throwing it out. And then you're applying like crazy, in quotes, because you should be applying every day as often as you can, because you never know the application that you would send that would eventually get you a job. One of the part-time jobs I've worked, I was literally, I think, on the bus or getting off the bus, and at the bus stop, in between like the bus stop and walking either to my destination or working, I was working somewhere. I just remember I was on my phone in transit. That's what I can remember. And I was applying on Indeed, and it was one of those applications that I was already tired. That day was long. I was getting frustrated because if you've been applying for jobs for a while, you get tired. I was getting tired of applying because I'm like, why am I applying for so many positions, at so many places, and none of them have given me a job? And I think that week I had even just probably cried or just been more frustrated than normal. And then I sent in the application. It was one of those ones I didn't even really take my time on. I'm not saying don't take your time on your application, but I've heard someone else say this thing that that usually at that breaking point, not for everybody, but at that breaking point, you're like, oh my god, I'm done, I'm tired. God, I don't know what's happening, but I'm tired. Someone also said, like, I've heard 2 other people tell me the same thing, that it was at that point that they just applied like randomly, and then they were getting tired, maybe not applying as much again, and then they got back to me. And guess what, it was also while I was in transit that I saw the notification on Indeed that they had gotten back to me. And then I was like, oh my god, okay. And it first seemed like a joke at first, and I was like, are they really getting back to me? And then did the first interview, was virtual, it went really well. And then the second interview, it was in person, also went really well. The interview in person wasn't even an interview, it was more like, we want to see you in person and offer. So it was a very short, straight to the point. Here's the thing, we want to offer you this position, are you interested? Or you can think about it and get back to us. And I'm like, oh my god. And so I got that one, and thank god for that. And then another part-time job I worked was also by applying again. Networking is actually good, because in my class, at least for the ones I had, for some of you have spoken to in my class that got jobs before me, some of them was from networking. I know this person, I know that, but I have a classmate that I don't think he even applied like that. I don't think he applied like that. Oh my god, he played this person. I don't think he applied to that many places, and then he got a job by speaking to people at church, speaking to people at different places. And then somebody said, oh, I'll speak to someone, send me your CV. It did not take 1 week, he got a job. So I pray that yours is faster, your process is not as long as mine, or like as long as some other people. But at the same time, like, applying, it's important to apply as you're networking, because you're new in this place. So when people say networking takes some time. You need to be patient with networking. And if you are genuinely trying to establish relationships and connections with people that would last a lifetime, you're not just trying to meet someone today and be best friends today, or meet someone today and you're already throwing your CV in their DM. I mean, that's just me though, and that's just how I think. But like, the way other people think is definitely different. But I know there are different ways to come up with, so different ways to have a cordial relationship with somebody, and you guys are cordial enough for you to discuss different things. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be multiple conversations before you bring up you are looking for a job, or you are currently job hunting, or whatever, you're looking for a part-time. All of this is just to say you need to apply for jobs. Get on Indeed, get on Glassdoor, and apply, and also set up your notifications so you receive notifications, obviously, and so you get notified when similar jobs like the ones you're applying for, like new ones are posted. Try to apply for the ones that have been posted in the last 24 hours. Most times the ones that have passed 48 hours and they've posted and it's been over 48 hours, a lot of people have already applied. I'm not saying don't apply, you can still get it, but put more of your strength and energy into applying for the ones that they've recently posted, so that your application or your CV is one of the first that they see. And then you should have your email, your phone number in your CV. I believe you know that, but if you don't know that, now you know that. And then networking, meeting people. You're meeting people every day. You need to open your heart, open your mind, my mom usually says put your ear on, is it how does she say? I think she says put your ear on the ground, or keep your eyes open, something like that. Put your ears on the ground and just pay attention, speak to people. You're in a new place, and it will take some time to get used to this new environment or get used to new people, but allow yourself to open up. Like, don't just immediately after class you're running home, immediately after church you're running home, you go out with friends and you don't want them to bring their other friends. Stop it though. Like, open your mind, open your heart, and just allow yourself to make new connections, new meaningful connections. And also be the classmate that shares information when they have information. Chances are the more you share information with people, they also share information with you, and it's like we're sharing back and forth. So these are the two major things to focus on in terms of finding a part-time, which would also lead to the full-time eventually. Networking, applying for jobs. Your CV should be good, your cover letter should be specific to the company you're applying for. It's okay to have multiple CVs for multiple positions. Like, if you're applying to multiple positions, it's okay to have multiple CVs, but just make sure it's tailored to the job you're applying for. So the skills they require at that job, let it be on your CV. Please, I beg you. If you are writing your experience, no, what am I saying? If as you're writing your experiences, use qualitative and quantitative data. So you're using numericals, so you increased maybe you increase payouts by so percent, by 30%, by 25%, things like that. You help the company save so amount of money, or increase revenue by so XYZ percent. Use things like that, things that really quantify what you have done, things that explain that where you worked before you added value, so that they know that as they are bringing you in, you're also going to add value to their company. And try your best to be confident in your interview. The first interview is usually testing the water. So you've passed the CV stage, they've reviewed your CV and everything is good, and then now they want to meet you, be it virtual or in person. First interview is like, okay, welcome, this first batch, now you have passed, welcome, how can we, or like, let's get to meet you, let's get to know you more, and whatever you've said in your CV, that's great, we want to hear from you. So prepare for interviews. I know it's part-time and sometimes there's tendency to just think it's not that serious, but it's actually that serious, especially if you need the job. I've had an interview that I did the whole face bit, makeup, everything, and the way I prepare for the interview be like exam, but it was no exam, but still, like, just show seriousness in it and be excellent at whatever it is you are doing, right? So after you've passed all of this and you start working, please, let's not be that everything was going well until they hired you. And even if it is part-time, show up early. Your shifts should not be varying times as per today you come early, tomorrow you come late. Try to be consistent in showing up on time, because it's a big deal. It should be a big deal all over the world, but we know it's not, but it's a big deal. It is a big deal here. And then as you are there for your part-time job, you should be thinking about your future. So we don't expect that this is what you will do all your life, but as you're there, begin to think of career plans, career paths, possible options for you for a full-time job. And don't cage your mind, or don't cage your mind. Don't make yourself believe that this is all you would ever be, like just here, just earning money for rents and groceries, finish. There should be more that you think about, and definitely you get to the point where you can now work full-time, and that would be amazing. But all of this basically this video. I do not know everything about finding a job. I don't think anybody knows everything about finding a job, but I would just like you to see this video as an encouragement that regardless of how long you've been searching for a job, that you can eventually find a job, and it's possibly just a little bit of time that is needed before you eventually get that congratulations. After the unfortunately, oh, it was sad to let you know, or we regret to inform you that, after that, at the end of the tunnel, there is a congratulations waiting for you. But please keep trying, keep applying, keep meeting people, keep speaking to people. Networking is important. It is vital for your growth. And yeah, I hope you come back with your I'm optimistic that you'll come back with your testimony, and I'll be here to celebrate with you. It can get a bit frustrating, not a bit, very frustrating, but at the end of the tunnel, there's light. There's light. Final thing I just want to add is, whatever skill you have, soft skills you have, find ways to translate them into your finding a job, into kind of job or kinds into the kind of job you are looking for, you're applying for. Sometimes they ask for a portfolio. If you don't have a portfolio and you're applying for jobs that require a certain skill, I'm going to use Baker as an example because that's the first thing in my mind. A portfolio that you can quickly come up with is open Google Drive, new folder, put pictures as much as possible, clear pictures of your work, and arrange them well in one folder. Put your name, the first name you intend to use, preferably an English name. Put your name and write portfolio there. That's your portfolio you send to them. You don't need to do a lot of dazzling things or like spend so much time designing, the portfolio that they want to see that you can do what you say you can do, and then Google Drive can help you. So that's one way to look at it. Like, your CV is great, but sometimes they ask for portfolio, they ask for things you've done before. If you say you're a data analyst, they want to see data you've analyzed before, and the portfolio could be that you just take a screenshot of an analysis you've done. This is for the data analyst, an analysis you've done, and go to Google Drive, open new folder, put the screenshot here, name it your first name, preferably an English name once again, and write portfolio. So if your name is gift portfolio, and send it to them. Some things seem complicated, but sometimes it's not as complicated. So that's your portfolio, and you send to them, and that's it. But honestly, it is, like I said, easier for me to sit down here and speak to you and tell you all these things. But when, like, I've been in the situation of not having a job and just being frustrated, being tired of applying. But I just want to let you know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm really rooting for you. And also to those that have not traveled into Canada yet, or are planning to travel into Canada. I know in your plans you're saying, once I get to Canada I'll get a job, and this one and now. It's not exactly always that straightforward, fortunately, unfortunately. I mean, it's straightforward like that for some people, but let's be honest, for a larger percentage, for the majority, it usually takes more time than you think. And you're in a new environment. Remember, you're in a new environment. Allow yourself to breathe. Money is finishing, but by the special mighty grace of God, somehow you'd survive. Allow yourself to breathe. You are not the problem. You are not the problem. I'm sure most times you're not the problem. More often than not, you're not the problem. These things just take time, and they require patience. So whatever they've told you before, that immediately you come, you start working. I was part-time job that I remember one time, I think in class we were talking about it, and someone was saying, oh, what's part-time job that we haven't found part-time job, and everybody's like, excuse me, if it's that easy, please share it to us. Well, I know from experience that it's not that easy, so I would not blame you at all if you've been here for months and you've still not gotten anything. It's not because you lack skill or you lack experience or you are a bad person or you are totally useless. No, it's just a phase and it's will pass. But I do know that you should ensure your CV is in order, ensure that you are communicating and presenting yourself well. Is one thing to know how to bake, is another thing to show people that you really know how to bake, and show them, and not just show them but convince them that you know how to bake. And another thing is, in applications, like I said before, you never know the one that will click for you. So that's why you have to keep trying. And my professor always tells us that we should stay positive. Staying positive brings positive things your way. If you are constantly positive, you're rising in the morning and you've not gotten a job yet, but you just believe that at some point things are aligning for you and things are going to work for you, all things are working together for your good, they would eventually align. And you keep of course keep putting in the work, keep meeting people, keep speaking to people, networking, applying, and at the end of the day it's all come together. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. It's down there, it's below this video. Just give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, I think now is a good time, a great time even, to subscribe to this channel. And please share with your friends that are international students in Canada. They're going to find a playlist. If you're an international student in Canada, I have a playlist specifically dedicated to you, because wow, geez, my heart goes out to you. And like in the club, we all found so I did, and I just, you know, have done a couple of videos that are very helpful, and I would continue to make a lot of very helpful videos for international students, because this information, sometimes we tend to think, oh, everybody knows it, but it's not everybody that knows it. So yeah, so please share with your friends that are international students in Canada. And if you are international students in Canada, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was not just one of those talking at you videos, but genuinely it's encouraged you. That would be my greatest joy if this video encouraged you. And congratulations in advance, because you will get a part-time job. So see you in the next video. Bye.